Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich. And the channel is Rich the Return Rider. For all you guys that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you guys that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. Today guys, we're at Harley Davidson of Gainesville. And we're looking here at some different bikes. I got a call from one of the sales reps. We're going to be doing a couple of test rides here in the near future on some of these different bikes, which you was looking at there. Is a bunch of Road Kings, and again, guys, as long as it got two wheels, man, I'm willing to take a ride. So yeah, guys. So today we're gonna be, first of all, for all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel so far, I appreciate your support. For all of you guys that have been questioning, got some comments on some different folks asking about Lorna. So I gotta let you guys know Lorna is scheduled to take two private sessions here. In the beginning here of this month. Not going to give you a specific date. She's super excited about it. I'm excited but a little nervous for her. But anyway, guys, yeah, so we're going to be doing a couple of different things on this month here. I've been working, and it's hard for our schedules to kind of, for us to kind of corroborate some time to do some of the things that we would like to do. It's been a little over a week now since I've done a video. But today, guys, as we're rolling out here from Harley Davidson of Gainesville, I'm going to be doing a video here, guys, of some of the things that I look for while I'm out riding on the streets here. And guys, I welcome you to leave your comments in the comment section below if there's anything that I can do better. But this is going to be my way of riding defensively, and some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm riding. So as we leave Harley Davidson here, guys, what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm supposed to be making a left, but I don't want to enter the intersection there, like how that car is sitting in the middle. Don't quite feel safe on a motorcycle to be somewhat of a sitting duck there. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to make a right turn. I'm going to go down, I'm going to get in the left lane, and I'm going to make a U-turn, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get on to 75 heading towards Archer Road in Gainesville. So guys, as we do this ride here, I don't get out and I do a lot of city rides. Usually when I'm making videos, I'm out in the country area riding in the back roads. Here running some errands today, and decide, hey, it'd be an interesting video to, as I'm doing this ride in the city, maybe have some comments on some of the things that I can do better. Always willing to learn. This journey back of riding after being away from motorcycle for 20 plus years, I'm learning so much from some of you folks that I'm sharing a similar journey with. A lot of you folks have rode motorcycles in the past and have returned to riding in your later years. Some of you guys are new riders. So guys, what I'm doing here is I'm making a U-turn that I got pretty comfortable in doing as I got out and do my Robert Simmons paying it forward classes, slow speed maneuvers. I'm always going to be promoting those classes, guys. And part of this video is to show you how I implement some of the things that I learned. Okay, what I'm looking at here now, guys, is the traffic on both sides of the road that can impede my path here. And just covering the clutch and the brakes as I pass through those intersections right here. Now we're getting onto the on-ramp to merge into traffic on 75. One of my pet peeves, guys, is seeing folks get on these ramps at really slow pace. And these ramps are really designed, guys, for you to get up to speed so you seamlessly blend in to traffic on the highway. So I'm going to start looking left here as I'm exiting over. I'm going to make sure I have a clear path as I'm going over. As you can see behind me here, guys, I got a good space of traffic behind me. And went into the middle lane because looking as far ahead as I can, which is always recommended, to look as far ahead as you can. There's two vehicles that's in that right lane. Want to give them as much space as I possibly can. Guys, what we're looking at here now is I'm going to be always referring to the lane positions here. The left lane on the left position in the lane here, I'm always going to call lane 1. All the way over to the right, I'm going to call lane 2. In the middle here, I'm going to refer to as lane 3. And the awesome thing about riding a motorcycle, guys, is we have 3 different positions in the lane that we can place the motorcycle in. So one of the things that I just realized here, guys, the Honda Goldwing, we're on Ruby, the 2019 Honda Goldwing manual, is I just had an indication on the dashboard that the trunk is open. And this is going to be our first topic of discussion here, whether I could have pulled over in a better area than where I pulled over. My thinking at the time was that with the ramp to the right, as we're coming up here, I'm going to be pulling over right here. I did see the access road to get back on. I think this is Newberry Road, if I'm not mistaken, which will be the exit here for Newberry Road in Gainesville off the 75. And when I realized that indicator was on, I pulled over here in an area, assuming that I can get back on the highway using the ramp, being able to speed up, to get my speed up to be able to exit back over. I don't know if this was the best position to do this. Maybe I should have actually moved up and over to the shoulder on that entrance ramp. It would have probably been a safer thing to do. Leave it in the comments below, guys. Anything that I do in this video today that you guys think could have been done better, I'm always going to be welcoming constructive criticism. And not offended by anything that someone recommends. That's what this channel is all about, guys. My journey back into riding motorcycles and learning as much as I can to stay safe. As you can see here, I'm getting back onto the ramp, getting back up to speed, and I'm going to exit right back over here as soon as the space is clear. Now, guys, what you're going to be realizing then is what I call that lane position 2, which is the lane, the position over to the right of the lane. Anytime you see me doing that is because there's a truck or something that is passing on the left side. I'm very aware of some of these things that come off of trucks, especially the tires and so forth that peel. Somebody did recommend getting an app. Well, I'm not getting it. I do have that Waze app, but apparently that app also caters to motorcycle riding. It gives you stuff that might be in the road, police officers ahead. And guys, as you can see, the traffic in the left is moving a little bit faster than I am. I'm doing about 75 miles an hour. This is my route, or was my route to work on a daily, commute. And there's always highway patrol officers on the side of the roads here. I haven't gotten a ticket in so many years. I don't even recall the last speeding ticket I've gotten. But sometimes on these highways on the motorcycles, we need to ride a little bit more aggressive sometimes than we want to, just to create the space around us. As you guys can see in the front of me there, I'm keeping a good distance from the car in front of me. I also ride in a position sometimes, guys, that I can see past even the car that's in front of me if I'm at a closer pace. I do try to control to some degree the traffic also behind me. If the traffic behind me is getting a little close, I might speed up, change lanes, or sometimes even tap my brakes slightly to let them know, hey guys, I'm here, or you're too close. And it's something that I'm going to be talking about from time to time as we do this video. Guys, again, a video on riding in city limits. And regardless of how much I like to get out and ride in the open areas of the country scenes. Even when I was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, trying to get into the mountains, we did have to ride through a pretty touristy area. And doing a lot of the slow speed maneuver classes, guys, make all of this stuff relevant. The slow crawling and the traffic and, not having your feet out, getting into the friction zone as the motorcycle come more to a cruise. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, guys, as we get off on Archer Road and start riding through Gainesville. Here I'm getting ready to exit off the ramp, and again I'm deciding on what lane position I'm going to be choosing here as I'm getting off this ramp to give me kind of an escape route in case the vehicles behind me don't come to a complete stop. As you can see there, guys, I got 3 turning lanes. I'm going to choose to go to the left here. Again, because of that shoulder, from the Insta360 camera there, I'm showing you the vehicle behind me. I started doing a slow ride here, which in Robert Simmons paying it forward, I think would be exercise 2. And trying to control that traffic behind me so he doesn't get too close, and if he gets close enough, I still have space to be able to maneuver. I did make some eye contact here with the ambulance drivers as I realized these guys might be right next to me as I'm getting on Archer Road here. Keeping my distance away from the car in the front, and automatically starting to look for, just glancing in the mirror to see where the traffic behind me is. Guys, as we are looking at this ambulance pulling up next to me and these EMT workers, these frontline responders, I do work in a hospital with a lot of these guys coming in, and these are the guys, man, that's going to be showing up at your door when you can't make it to the hospital in emergency situations. And I do hear a lot of stories from them and all the attitudes and the complaints they've been getting and so forth. These guys are risking their lives, guys, to make sure that everyone is safe, especially during these last couple of years of the pandemic. But guys, what I'm looking at right here now is access on the right. Checking my surroundings. I'm looking at that space to the right there between the ambulance. If that had to be my escape route or something coming up behind me, I would choose that position instead of going over to the left. Going over to the left, guys, is the turning lane. I wouldn't want to use that in an emergency situation because that car that might be coming through, it might be clipping me if I try to use that position. What I'm showing here, guys, is that my hands is always on the clutch and the motorcycle is always in first gear. There are plenty of times you're going to see here, guys, where my hand comes off the throttle, but I'm still looking behind me. I'm all aware of what's going on. The motorcycle is in first gear and the clutch is engaged. Again, guys, creating some space around me here. Not always a preference to ride in the city in this left lane, but I'm going to be making a left into Whole Foods Market here in Gainesville, one of the places that I frequent, as I'm trying to get back into better eating habits and so forth. And it's interesting, guys. What is great about Gainesville is this is a college town. This is the town of UF, Gatorland, we call it. And, there's lots of motorcycles, scooters, and all kinds of stuff around here. So we're hoping that the folks that's in these areas are more aware of motorcyclists, scooters, and so forth. And it's a pretty good place to practice if you're going to be practicing your city riding skills. Again, I was watching that truck behind me there. At one point, the truck was getting a little close to me for comfort. I used this opportunity here to speed up, but I'm also watching the vehicles in the left that's trying to turn to make sure they don't impede my path here. And I'm moving at a speed that if they do decide to come out, I can stop the motorcycle. It doesn't leave a lot of space here for swerving. I don't want to be swerving into the next lane where, again, I can get clipped by a car. But, in most cases, I'm also trying to leave some space. And at times, I'm using the car in that right lane as a buffer from those vehicles that might be turning from, those left lanes. Here, guys, there was a car behind me, coming up behind me. I did tap my brake a couple of times. I'm hoping to get some lights, guys, that actually, some brake lights that actually blink and flash while I'm coming to a stop. That's going to be an order soon. And right here, guys, what I'm doing is I'm looking at that little space to the right behind that black car there as my route of escape in case the car in the white behind me didn't come to a stop. Here we are turning into Whole Foods Market. Getting ready to go to that stop sign. Right now, I consider this to be a parking lot area. And in these parking lot areas, guys, I'm looking for brake lights, looking for reverse lights, Again, anyone that might be popping out that's not looking for a motorcycle. As I get to the stop sign here, guys, I do what I call a modified version of Robert Simmons' trust and believe, as he calls it. In his case, in that that drill, we'll actually be at a standstill. Guys, go watch his channel, and that it'll be better described. As you guys can see, I was a bad boy there. That was a stop sign. I pretty much looked at the stop sign, checked to make sure everything was clear, and I rolled right through it. My mistake again. Again, guys, right into the parking lot here, making sure that there's no brake lights or anyone backing out. And if that happens, I would give myself enough space to be able to swerve. All right, guys, what we're going to do here now is we're going to pull into a parking area here with Ruby. Put her in a position that if some cars ever parked in the lanes next to us, that the bike is far enough forward that anyone could see that the space that's there is a motorcycle in it. We're going to run into the store here. We're going to have some lunch at Whole Foods Market. And we're going to be picking some different stuff up here from, like I said, one of my favorite stores here. And we're going to come back out and we're going to finish this ride here, guys. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some city riding and how a lot of these slow speed drills might be able to relate to it. So guys, what I've shown you there is the video of some scooters and so forth passing by. We're going to be jumping back on Ruby here in the parking lot, and we're going to continue our ride. As we pull out again, what I call parking lot awareness. Just checking to make sure that I am seen, and if I'm not seen, that I can maneuver the motorcycle to avoid anyone that's backing up or popping out or so forth. Always being aware of your surroundings, guys. There's nothing relaxing about riding a motorcycle in parking lots or in city limits. Of course, when we're out on country roads, we still have to be somewhat aware also. But guys, on trips and roads like this, you have to have a heightened level of awareness. Head is always going to be on a swivel. The motorcycle has always got to be in a position to be able to get out the way. And one of the things that motivated this video, guys, is as I was riding through Gainesville here, one guy did pull up to the light, explained to me he had one of these motorcycles and he got rear-ended at a stop sign. And we had a brief discussion about it. Didn't have the cameras rolling at the time. A lot of times I'm doing these rides and camera's not rolling. But he now rides, I think he said, a trike instead of a regular motorcycle. Now I'm pretty sure that the same incident that happened on the motorcycle could have probably happened on the trike, but oh well. So guys, didn't give you a really good view of this one here, but there's limited space for me to be able to escape on how close that vehicle to the right is. And there's a sidewalk over to the left by that little sign exiting out. So what I did, guys, is I decided to leave a little bit more space behind the car in front. Again, so at least I have the option of being able to move forward if the guy behind me is not paying attention. So guys, we're back on Archer Road here. Where we're heading now is to Ride Now Power Sports. I'm going to be meeting up with one of the Honda guys there. This is where I bought a motorcycle from. This guy is very knowledgeable about these Honda Goldwings and was actually giving me information on the drop guards that I can purchase for the motorcycle. So that's one of the things that you're going to be seeing here as we're going to be jumping back on the bike. We're on our way to Ride Now Power Sports. Was going to make a U-turn here. I think I decided against it and kept on going. But just waiting for the traffic on the right side to clear here so I can proceed to jump back in that right lane there. So guys, again, man, for all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel, appreciate your support. did say Lauren and I are going to be doing some things here in the beginning of March. She's excited about her classes. I'm looking into some stuff also. We ain't mentioned it yet, but we'll talk about it later. Anyway, guys, rolling out here from Riding Out Power Sports. This is where I bought my motorcycle from. We're going to be riding down to 441 and we're going to be passing by the university. Here I'm sitting in some traffic. My escape route there was over to the left of that car. And again, sometimes I'm doing a little swerve here as I get a little further up the road here and there's cars in the turning lane. You're going to see me move from that right position of the lane over to the left. I think Dan the fireman calls that presenting yourself. And again, it's so that vehicle could see that there's a motorcycle coming. If I'm in the right position of that lane, I might not necessarily be seen. But so that's what I was doing there. Again, you're seeing the scooters and so forth around the university. We did pass a bunch of scooters parked on the right of the university here, or we're getting ready to pass them, I should say. And they didn't quite catch them with the video because of the car on the right. I made some eye contact with the guy there in the white van. But what was important here, guys, is there was a guy behind me with a Honda Accord that was tailgating. And I started to add some space and tap my brakes. And as you can see, he left a little bit more space behind me. And that's one of the things that I do to control even the traffic behind me. Guys, as we get out and we do these classes, we are trying to establish control of the motorcycle. We have to take control of the things that we have control over. And a lot of times we have a lot more control over our environment than we realize, according to how we ride and how we maneuver the bike, the signals we send, using our indicators, some at times using our brake by tapping it, and let the folks behind us know, hey, I'm here, or hey, you're too close. There's multiple ways to, more than one way to skin a cat, I should say. Again, as you can see, I'm looking as far up as I can. So I'm positioned here right on the side of that car. It again gives me a little bit of an escape route, far enough back from the car that I can move forward, even if there's a vehicle coming on the side of me there. And not too bad in this area because the traffic never really gets very far, very fast. One of the things, guys, that that I'm a little concerned about, guys, with some of the scooter riders is some of these scooters are 50cc scooters. They don't get past 40 miles an hour, some of them less. A lot of these students and so forth end up in the lane when the traffic is moving a little faster. And they're in that left lane, they're blocking traffic. And, I always said if I was a student, I would probably prefer to have a small cc motorcycle as opposed to a scooter. I just don't feel the scooter can get out of the way as fast as a 250 or 300cc motorcycle can. But I'm sure the scooters have their advantages. I'm sure they're a lot easier to ride and operate in the clutch on a motorcycle. But just don't feel real comfortable riding in traffic with a scooter. I do own a 50cc scooter and it's not very fast, guys. So as we roll here, we're passing by the university. We're going to be exiting over to the right to get back on here. We're on Archer Road. Like I said, I've been working in the trauma center for 20 plus years. From 2013 to 2021, I've worked here at Shands Hospital. This is the trauma center for this region. And interestingly enough, guys, I haven't seen a lot of motorcycle accidents at this specific hospital as I did when I started riding in the sports bike world back in the 90s. We do see a lot of ATVs side by side. This area is surrounded by a lot of farmland, and you get a lot of kids injuring themselves on ATVs and so forth. We're seeing our buddy over here on a Harley. Interesting position. He's in that lane position too, behind that van. But he is giving himself plenty of space. But I would prefer to be on the left side of that that lane if I was him, so I can see past that van. Wouldn't be quite comfortable in the position that he was in, but again, to each his own. Don't know why he chose that, you know. So yeah, guys, we're gonna ride on here. We're gonna be still on Archer Road. We're passing the hospital. This whole region here is part of the UF Health Hospital. Like I said, guys, worked in the trauma for 20 plus years. I've seen a lot of stuff in the ICUs and and so forth. It makes me a little bit more conscious about motorcycle riding. Here, pulling up next to some fellow bike riders. We're looking at an Indian there and two Harleys. Had a brief conversation with the guys on the bikes and the nice weather. I think it's 85 degrees here in Florida today. And guys was talking about how nice the weather is riding. And I've been out on the bike most of the morning. It's around the afternoon time now, like I said, after lunchtime. But guys, what is interesting that you're gonna see here is the guys all seem to have their motorcycles in neutral as they're sitting at the light. Something that I was advised not to do. To each his own. My hand is going to come off that throttle many times, but it's going to stay on that clutch, and the motorcycle is going to stay on first gear. The idea of trying to escape if something's going on behind you, having to put the motorcycle in gear, pull the clutch in, and then it's a little too much there. I think that's where a lot of us would be putting ourselves in danger. Now, to the, for the guys that was there sitting on the Harleys and the Indian, the vehicle behind them had came to a stop, so it might not be one of the most unsafe situations, but again, something that I was taught not to do in the traffic areas here is to put the motorcycle in neutral. Again, guys, I know it looks pretty narrow there in the camera, but my escape route here is to the right between that black car and that Nissan that I'm behind. Looking in the mirror, the cars behind me did come to a stop. Motorcycle still in gear and in neutral. So yeah, guys, this is my little rendition here of what I do to try to stay safe as I'm riding through the traffic in the city limits. If you see anything there that can be done better, I did comment on a couple of the mistakes that I've made, even in the parking lot of the Whole Foods Market. So now we're going to be jumping here on the highway. I choose to stay in this middle lane, guys, because of all the stop and the exiting, and like this car that's popping out here to the right is one of the reasons that I would be doing that. And guys, sometimes when you do certain things out here, you got to be assertive. You might have to be aggressive at times. Use your indicators. Make sure that you take your indicator off when you're not using it, so you don't send false signals. But guys, when I position this motorcycle in some place to go, I'm usually pretty assertive and don't hesitate to make my move and go. It's something that I learned years ago. Don't confuse the traffic around you by being indecisive. Anyway, guys, we're going to switch over here to the right lane. 75 is coming up. We're going to be heading home. For all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it, guys. Leave some comments in the comment sections below. And guys, like I said, I don't care what you ride. Put some protection on your motorcycles. Do these advanced safety classes. A lot of those maneuvers and being in control of the motorcycle, like Robert Simmons called it, being the boss of your motorcycle, it's going to come into play as you're doing these slow rides. I always going to be using the analogy, guys, like a baby that learns to creep and crawl, walk before it learns to run. We got to get out there and have control of these motorcycles at slow speeds before we get out and we are doing 70 and 80 miles an hour without having full control of the motorcycles. That's my spiel, guys. So again, don't care what you ride, get out, ride, put some protection on those motorcycles so you're not afraid to drop them in these parking lots as we are doing the cone courses. And Robert Simmons becoming the boss of our motorcycles. Rich, the return rider, out.